week 8. So basically, we're gonna do our picks. Um, this is Alex. I'm Felix, and so how about that Thursday night game with the Jets?
I, I still cannot believe that that happened. That
What happened?
just what they were rooting. What a what an amazing catch! Probably all time for this generation of football. And got the all time point. The all time point you all the button, but it almost be all the button. That point it is amazing to see.
Yeah, I gotta say, what an athletic talent he is, and yeah, he not just had one; he had two one-handed catches in that
Mm-hmm.
game. Both were amazing. Surprisingly, the Jets got out of their little funk um, because they don't have a head coach, and all the small things do matter when you have a head coach there. He will assist and make you work on those things, so you're better for the real thing when the games start. But the Jets are where they are, which I think is 3-6. I think is their record right now.
Yeah.
So we'll see what they can do with the rest of this season.
Mm-hmm.
Have talent on that team, so they got to get it together and focus. And so that was Thursday night football. If you don't know, Jets won over the Houston Texans. I definitely would have picked the Texans over the Jets. Did not see that coming. That New York pulled out that victory, but so let's move on to our 1 o'clock games for tomorrow. And so we're going to start off with the Cowboys and Falcons. Who you got?
Oh, but the Cowboys in the have a good season. For me, I'm going to pick give me the Falcons. I believe the Falcons lose the game.
Um, I think this was going to be a close one. After that game a few years back with the Falcons and the Cowboys, and the Falcons basically let the Cowboys win that game by not picking up the onside kick when they had the chance to because they were the receiving team. That was atrocious. I don't know if the Falcons forgot about that or moved on. I know that was a different team at the time, different head coach at the time.
They
But if they,
fought
re-
that.
if they remember and they kept that up in their locker room, then this game with the Cowboys should mean something a little bit more because that was definitely egg in the face on their part with the Cowboys. But um, Cowboys are struggling this year. I think Jerry Jones is, in a way, kind of on the hot seat, even though he can't be fired because he owns the team. But I think he realized um, something's broken about his organization. I don't foresee him ever selling the team, and I get it. There's a lot of people in the media. They're harping on him. But the last loss, besides to the 49ers the week before. He said some things to the media because the media was being critical of him and his involvement with his organization. But honestly, look, it is what it is. He's always going to be a part of that organization until his last breath. I don't see that changing. So anybody that's in the media, if you're expecting for that man to just somehow take a back seat and not be involved, not happening. Would you agree?
Yeah, I don't think he could look like I know a lot of people want him to start that thing or get it away to a 10 minute look, but I don't think that will happen after when he passed away. Then he can look the all I got a 10 minute look, but the team outright and maybe they will do something.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's a possibility. We've seen it with the Giants and other teams around the league when the owners passed, the family members stepped up and bought the team. It does not always necessarily make the team better for improvements. But either way, at the end of the day, Jerry Jones is staying. So again, if you're a football fan, especially if you're a Dallas fan, hate to say it, if you think he's part of the problem, maybe he is, but don't expect for him to give away something. The day he bought that team and he became the official Dallas Cowboy owner, the look on his face, the excitement, the involvement that that man had, there's just no way he's walking away or stepping down from that. So let's move on. The next 1 o'clock game is Patriots Titans. Both these are struggling teams. I think I'm going to go with the Patriots over the Titans.
Uh, I, 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 I yeah, yeah, both teams I have part of it don't make the put out. Um, but give me the picture and I believe the picture is that team over over the top. And I don't think the top I had nobody.
Okay. Next up is Raiders and Bengals. This is kind of a little bit of a weird game. There's a little bit of history between these two teams when they've played, but most times the Raiders have gotten the better of the Bengals. This time around, I'm going to pick the Bengals. I think the Bengals need this win to keep up with the rest of their division. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The better need to get the win. Uh, if uh, if the one to make it into the put up, not the game to lose, but if you lose, we see how um a football that to go. So if the um for me, I'm gonna pick it gonna pick a Bucko. I believe Bucko will get the win and be on top over the Ritzer.
okay. Next up is Broncos and Ravens.
Look, look, Raven, I know has to root in the Broncos has to root in to keep alive, uh, to keep alive. If Captain E have a big league, the Broncos are number two behind Captain E. So keep my Captain E have a big league. The Broncos might be number one. It could happen. So for me, I prefer it's gonna be the Broncos to win the game.
Yeah, and the Broncos still got to play the Chiefs. You know that
Yes,
happened yet, so that's going to be interesting when those two teams meet up. And so my pick of this game, I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna say, somehow this would be a close game. I think Henry finish it with a run in the end zone, and the Ravens get a close victory. I think they'll end up winning by 3 points in this game. And so let's move on to the next 1 o'clock game, which is the Chargers and Browns. Um, what's your thoughts on that matchup?
the both teams or I have I feel I feel everything have the Captain. But it's hard to you have a good year with Jimmy Hot Ball at the Brown. A lot of people want to have to be gone. So the quarterback got down and did Jimmy Wilson. So you know what? Give me the ball. I think about we get I got win I got win. Like go back with over the Ravens. That is not it's a part of the Ravens. But so give me the ball.
I'm gonna go with the Chargers. I think the Chargers will somehow squeak out a win. against the Browns. Um, I don't see it being a lopsided game, or even in the sense that, like, maybe a two-score game. I think this would be a one-score game between these two, but I'll take the Chargers. Next up is the Saints and Panthers. And what's your thoughts on that matchup?
Boy, I get like Pepper, you know how like they had a better quarterback for the hour injury. Um, yeah, both the teams that I have got it. That is full of the half, but we're very coming back. I think that they to win the game. I believe that they will get it done over the Panther.
Okay. I'm gonna go with the Saints over the Panthers. Um, that's a division rival. We know it can go either way. It's usually exciting between the two, but I'm gonna go with the Saints. The Saints had some struggles there, and so I think they bounce back. Next 1 o'clock game is Dolphins Bills, another division rival. I'm gonna go with the Bills with this game. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, yeah, the and not a good game from me. I got like put on me good player. Uh, yeah, the big wins. Uh, uh, I got a bit of basically.
Next up is the NFC East division, New York Giants versus the Commanders. It's a 1 o'clock game, and that's the last 1 o'clock game. Um, what's your thoughts on?
What pass to in over the bear. Again, I got a good hot a minute and hot uh, the year, but I got give me give me I need the so my ego could be on top. Give me look, you better win the game. I don't let me down. The
Okay.
better, the better let me down that week.
Yeah, I mean, look, that was a pretty decent game between those two. Unfortunately, a Hail Mary ended the game, and the ball got tipped, went right into a receiver's hands, and guess what? Washington goes on to win that game. New York has not played well this year. This is not a good season for them. They are trying to make the best of it or what they have. I think bad decisions that was up in the front office, meaning Daniel Jones, has cost them quite a bit. But I think hopefully they have learned their lesson of how vital and important it is to make a sound decision before giving somebody $40 million. Um, I'm pretty sure any citizen wish somebody would just give them $40 million. Then if I could throw a football that don't go where it needs to go and make interceptions and everything else, I mean, I think it's very important that before you, uh, you know, give somebody that kind of money, you make sure that they're actually up for the task or the job. So uh, hopefully, moving forward, these guys will draft well and put somebody at the helm that can actually be consistent and perform well every weekend. So um, I'll take the Commanders over the Giants. And so I know you need the Giants to win, and you probably want me to, you know, go big blue. But at the end of the day, right now, logically, they're not playing well. So um, we're gonna move on to the 4 o'clock games. Um, and your first up is your game, Jags and Eagles.
Uh, uh, give me the that's it there. welcome back to City. Um, yeah, 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 give me the ego. That give me the ego. I need the ego to win, so I need the to win. So give me the ego. How about
You know what? I'm gonna go with the Eagles here. This should be a pretty good matchup between these two. But you know something, I think the Eagles are a little bit more disciplined as a team, and so I think somehow they'll get the victory against the Jags. Bears and Cardinals. Now, Bears had a big upset last week. Um, you know, towards the end of that game, they thought they had that game wrapped up, and then uh, they ended up being disappointed. So
uh, 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 and but I hate it again. Because we're not the
yeah, I know they used to be in this region over here, and
yeah.
they used to be play against the Bears many a times. There is some old history between these two organizations. Um, but who do you got?
Uh, yeah, yeah. I gotta take a bit because well, give me the Cardinals to yeah. That's not a bad fan. You know that so give me the Cardinals to yeah.
I am gonna pick the Bears. I think hopefully they've learned their lesson on early celebrations. I think they realize it's best to finish the game first before celebrating. So I think they bounce back this week. Hopefully that loss against Washington don't really set them back, because if they're on their path to the playoffs, guess what? That could be a deciding factor of who they end up playing in the playoffs. So, and if they're playing at home or on the road. So I'll take the Bears over the Cardinals. We're going to move on now to the Rams and Seahawks, another division rival.
Um, yeah, give me the round. I believe the one who gets it win.
Okay. I'm going to go out on a limb with Geno Smith, and I think Seahawks pull it off. I think 2 point game. I think it will be close. Uh, and then last 4 o'clock game are the Lions versus the Packers. I'm just going to say it up front. I'm going with the Lions. Um, I think this is going to be a division, because that's a division right there. But I think this is going to be the deciding factor for that division. So I think the Lions need this win. I think they want this win. Um, I'll take the Lions.
I get it. This could be the put on a full no. So for me, I am going to pick the Detroit and I believe Detroit will get the win, but I can't get Poppy on the day. 2 point game. I can't think of it over Detroit win and come on to time.
Okay. So the Sunday night game uh, are two neighboring teams, which is the Colts versus the Vikings. I will take the Vikings here. So I'm just going to say it up front before you make your pick. I'm going to take the Vikings here. The Vikings know they need this win, because definitely if the Lions win against the Packers, that puts them behind, because a full game behind Detroit Lions, because they lost to the Lions. So they need this win to stay a half a game behind the Lions for that division. And so I'm pretty sure they're going to be cheering for the Packers. But Colts Vikings Sunday Night Football. What do you got?
It's not a good something in football this week. The Colts had a lot of problems quarterback line. So the omit between the draft factor and FE. Uh, yeah, all kind of quarterback over there. So give me the rock in, I believe the rock in. And hoping for good personally. Hoping for the best room. Uh, yeah. Give me the rock in.
Okay. And then you have Monday Night Football. It's only one game this time on Monday Night Football, and it's Chiefs and Bucks, a replay of the Super Bowl. We
With
all
Tom
know that
Brady.
Mahomes has had problems with the Bucks defense in the past. So although there's no Tom Brady, but that defense is still effective, and they always seem to give Mahomes trouble. So you got Chiefs versus the Bucks. Could this be the Chiefs getting their first loss?
I got to that no. Give me custody to the Monday Night Football. The Buccaneers had a lot of players from the Super Bowl. So this ain't gonna be interesting, but I believe that it will probably put more we can't eat that the probably a minute ago talked about it over can't eat we were game last time.
You might be right there. Keep in mind the Chiefs just traded for a wide receiver to replace the
Mm,
injured ones they have to keep up their victories, and so this is a game where we'll get to see if there's going to be any chemistry between Mahomes and.
mm.
But I'm going to go out on a limb, and I say the Bucks get an upset here, and the Chiefs get their first loss. Surprisingly, I think the Bucks would be prepared for them. Uh, and so they definitely don't fear Mahomes, and they're not worried about the boogeyman officials assisting them either. So, um, so real quick before we wrap up here, the Thursday night matchup that's coming up is the Bengals and Ravens, another division rival. These two teams met just a few weeks ago. Ravens ended up pulling out the victory. It's always entertaining when these two teams play each other, and it should be an exciting Thursday night football game. Real quick, let's just get a pick in here on this game, even though yes, it's for week
We
10.
can't.
Uh, oh my God, I can't believe week 10. And um, some people are thinking about trading before the deadline. So let's see if we're gonna have some excitement going on. In the meanwhile, I'm gonna pick the Bengals over the Ravens. As you know, I'm always gonna cheer for the Bengals. So Bengals over the Ravens.
For
Who you got?
me, Jimmy Graham, I believe Graham will get the we can't. I can't believe it almost retired 8 weeks of football out of this week. And that's what I tonight and tomorrow and we tomorrow the parents got back for almost the for and the the they will not come back. We at the end we got back after the doing your thing and yeah. And don't forget today today for America for the
Yeah,
president.
that's
And
right.
all the government moving you go out and will free. It's free. You don't need to go over there or meeting or go in somewhere to have a look at the please get out, please get out, please get out alone.
And I will back up that information. 100%. Yes, get out and vote, folks. We have presidential elections every 4 years. We have regular elections every two
Mhm.
years. The regular elections, believe it or not, probably supersede the presidential elections. But for those who don't really care for politics, I'm just letting guys know, um, you need to get out and vote. Your vote does matter. I know there's a lot of people out there that says, "Oh, it doesn't matter," it'll be God's will, whatever, blah blah blah. A lot of people lost their life for us, for all of us, to have this opportunity to go and vote. It matters. It matters. It affects us. It affects us in a lot of different ways. Policy affects every single one of us. It affects your wallet, affects your energy bill, affects your health, affects everything. It is very, very important that you go and vote. So please go out and vote. And we're going to wrap it up and leave it right there with that. This is Alex. This is Felix. Thank you guys for tuning in to Sports Talk. And we'll see you guys next week. Looking forward to some
Respect.
football tomorrow. So yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll see you later, son.
Okay.